You are tuned in to the Uncut Playlist. And this is DJ Force with a voice that makes you want to rejoice. So what you just heard was a Fatback Band with I Found Lovin', for sure. Michael Jackson with that perennial hit, PYT, A Pretty Young Thing. And New Edition, of course, with Candy Girl. So let me tell you a little bit more about Felicia and me. Actually, she never knew this, and this is going to be the first time that she hears this along with everybody else. It wasn't just that Felicia was this cute girl with the jerry curl. I got with her based on a bet. My friends and I made a bet. They bet that I couldn't get with her. And I'm like, knock it off. Of course I can. If anybody could, I could. They actually made fun of her. I didn't see what they saw, but my friends made fun. I saw this beautiful girl. I mean, Chris in particular. You hear me, Chris? He used to call her sideburns because she had burns on the side of her tongue from some eating mishap or something like that. I actually never saw those burns. I don't know. Maybe it was just young kids hating, but they made a bet, and I took them up on the bet, and it ended up happening. But let's get to when we were a couple. Felicia was my friend, and that was one of the things that I liked about her. She was better than having one of my guy friends. I mean, she was my partner. We hung out. Some of my favorite things that we used to do together is, for instance, we would get on the BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit. We would get on the BART train in Concord and go to San Francisco for one reason, just to be together. We would go out to Market Street and shop with no money. We would go to the arcades. I mean, of course, we had a few quarters. We had enough money to get on the BART train, enough money to play video games, enough money to get back home. But I didn't care about any of that. To me, it was just being with my girl. I really liked her a lot. I liked her before I knew what love was. And I think that was a big deal. That was something that bonded us together, is that we really liked each other. I remember when I got kicked out of Mount Diablo High School, where I used to see her at school all the time. When I got kicked out of Mount Diablo, I would go to a continuation school, so that means that I got out early. I would actually go to the bus stop and wait for her every day for the school bus to come by when she got out of school, and I would wait. And I didn't find out until later. She told me much later in life that her girlfriends would say, "Oh, look, girl, he's out there waiting for you. He's always standing there waiting for you at the bus stop." Yeah, big deal. That was my girlfriend. I liked her. I would have done anything for her. So yeah, that was one of the things that I used to do. I mean, we did some things that were like really innocent. Around the corner from her house, I used to enjoy going to the park with her. Again, for no other reason except to be together. I remember one time in particular, she sat in a swing, and I just got behind her in the swing and started pushing her in the swing. We didn't even talk. We just hung out together. I mean, that was my candy girl, I told you. You know, there came a time where I had some difficulties as a teenager at my own home. And I came from a good home. I came from a religious home. My mom and dad were high up in the church, but we didn't quite get along. So one day they kicked me out. And when they kicked me out, they sent me to Felicia's house and said, "You got this girlfriend, see if she'll let you stay there." It was meant to be a slap in the face and a reality check. But the reality ended up being, Felicia's mother said, "Come on in." I know that you like my daughter and my daughter really likes you, and she says you're a good person. I think you're a good person. She actually let me move in. It was Felicia, her mother, her sister, and their dog Butch in the backyard. The only rule that her mother had for me was don't you dare try to sleep in Felicia's room at night. But I moved in. I packed my stuff. And, we were like a family. This thing with Felicia and I, we were like a family. We were actually like a family because I did have a rule. And the family came up with it. We all had a night during the week that we each would cook. I cooked the same thing on my night, whenever my night came around, which was hamburgers. I didn't really know how to do anything else, but they allowed me to do this to make me feel more welcome. I mean, come on. There's 3 women there or 3 females there and some strange guy, but I'll never forget that. I'll never forget how they made me feel welcome, and they made me feel like they trusted me. And that was one of the things about being with Felicia, is that she convinced her mother that I was trustworthy, and that stuck with me. We got this next song coming up that sort of represents how I felt about Felicia. All I know is I wanted her, and that's what we got next. Keith Sweat with I Want Her, here on the Uncuffed playlist.